Hello and welcome to Pop Snitch Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel.
And I'm Brandon.
How are you today, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm tired and I want to go on our vacation. I'm tired of waiting for it, and I can tell by just being overly sensitive to everything in my life right now. So I'm ready to get out of here.
What did you get mad at me about yesterday? Like very irrationally. Oh, I asked you not to get under our sheets in your outside clothes that you had been on the subway with, and you became furious.
Well, first of all, I wasn't getting under the sheets, and you knew that.
You absolutely were.
No,
and even getting on the bed. That's gross.
Okay. Am I going to be able to share my side of this story?
By all means.
Okay, thank you.
Share your wrong side. Go ahead.
I was coming in. I was extremely agitated, and I had already let that be known. I was already taking off the pants that I was wearing, which are the main culprit for touching subway and bad stuff like that. I had already taken those pants off and was going to lay on top of the bed with my back against the little pillows that we have on our bed. I did not think I needed to take off my shirt.
You did.
But I did, and she let me know this by getting all agitated at me when I've just said I'm on a hair trigger.
First of all, I didn't get all agitated. I was giggling because you were acting crazy.
But you knew I was on a hair trigger, and you chose to bring up this thing that I obviously was not taking into account at the moment.
First of all, I didn't know you were on a hair trigger. You had just walked in. I was laying down.
I did.
And you said, "Do you want to watch the show in here?" And I said, "Sure. But can you take off your shirt? You've been outside." And you got so mad.
So there's this whole thing, and this is just to bring the listener in. Okay.
Sure, by all means. Come on in.
There are these traditional roles that
this is going.
That a lot of couples fall into. And I think most couples, they fall into this thing of like, men would say, "Oh, my wife is a puzzle that I have to figure out. And she's giving me all these signals that I'm not picking up on and whatnot." That is not the life I lead. I actually play that role in our relationship. Like sometimes I'm putting out stuff that I would like to be,
with the men, honestly,
that I would like to be picked up on. And one of them was that I was in an utter bad place when I came home from work yesterday.
And I was taking a nap, and I was supposed to wake up and be aware of this.
And immediately know and have perfect response to all of it. Yeah. So I'm glad that we understand each other now.
And all I said was, "Hey, can you take off your shirt before you get in the bed? If you want to lay down with me and watch a show, I'm happy to do that. But can you take off your outside shirt?" He got furious. And what was so funny is that it was like 90 degrees outside and super humid. And so it was like stuck to his body. And he looked like someone coming through the birth canal trying to get the shirt off.
I was trapped in it
dying.
Like a cocoon.
I was laughing so hard. And because I was giggling, that was making you angrier.
Oh.
But I couldn't stop.
I was incensed.
And he was stomping around, grabbing shirts, screaming. And I'm like, "You're acting crazy."
I mean,
and you're like, "This is actually your fault." And I was like, "Sure. Okay."
It happens so infrequently that I display this irrational anger, but it does come up from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, you're not an angry person and you don't like feeling angry, but I think you feel comfortable being angry with me because you know I'm fine.
Yeah, I think
it comes out in really like bizarre ways that you're like, "Why didn't you know that as I walked in, I decided I was in a bad mood?" And I'm like, "I don't know, because I was fully unconscious and asleep."
I mean, I will say that I don't have a laundry list of people that have upset me to the point of freaking out. You know what I'm saying? My brother is on this list.
Well, your brother knows how to bring out a rage in you that no one has seen.
I love my brother with all my heart. He can instantaneously awaken a demon inside of me.
It's true.
And so there's that. There was a roommate that I had in college named Matthew Threet, who also brought this out.
I can't believe you said his real name.
I don't care. I'm putting him out in the street. He listens too, I think. But
does he? Hey, Matt.
Yeah, but he brought me to the point a few times when we lived together of getting angry and yelling. And I will say that you are one of the third people on that list, unfortunately. And maybe it's just because we know each other so well and I feel comfortable that I can get mad at you. I will call one particular instance into the recorded memory, which is on my birthday one year.
God, I knew you were going to talk about this.
On my birthday one year. And
let's say the year. The year was 2011, so it's been a while.
It has been a minute.
Okay. It's been 14 years. I'd love for you to get over it, but go on.
No,
you are 40 and you were in your 20s. But yeah, tell everybody.
I like to bring it back up, though, because
talk about holding a grudge.
Oh, well, it stuck with me. It is a part of it's a part of my trauma.
Part of your lore.
And what this was is for at the time, a luxury for the life that we were leading at the time would be driving down to LA from Bakersfield and going to the Cheesecake Factory for my birthday. I know this is not a special thing. I know this probably does not rank on many of your lists of bucket list items, but that for me,
we were poor, living on my teacher's salary, and you were making $0 at your job. So
that is
a trip to Cheesecake Factory was a big deal for us back then.
Yes. So bottom line, this trip to the Cheesecake Factory was a very important moment for me every year. And I love cheesecake, and that was one of the best places to get it out there, unfortunately.
And we all know your 26th birthday is like super important.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
So on the way up there, we were with our friend Lee and a girl that he was interested in. May have been like the second time they've actually hung out together. And they went with us to this Cheesecake Factory. And on the way there, I specifically mentioned that I would be ordering 2 pieces of cheesecake because...
And I thought that was satire, because who on earth can eat an entire meatloaf meal followed by 2 giant cheesecakes?
The name of the meal is Factory Meatloaf.
Sure. Okay. The thing about the Cheesecake Factory is we know their portions are very large. I do believe inflation has gotten to them, and they've gotten smaller over the years. But in the year of our Lord, 2011,
the cheesecake pieces have.
Big.
The meals have gotten bigger.
Yeah, but like the cheesecake pieces were huge. And so you said that, and I said, ha, 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 thinking, surely not. Surely not. But go on.
Well, so we get there and we sit down to this meal, and the first piece of cheesecake comes, and the person returns trying to give us a bill, and I'm like, well, no, there will be another piece of cheesecake being ordered. Mm-hmm. And Rachel said at the moment, she was like, what? You're not going to order another piece of cheesecake, are you? And
I just said, really?
Yeah, which was actually, that's much worse than even what I was remembering.
Yeah, I said the word really because I was shocked. Everyone was done eating. Like, everyone else was ready for the bill. And Brandon's like, we'll have another round of cheesecake just for me.
Well, for God forbid, on a man's birthday, he can't sit and be the only one still eating a piece of cake.
It wasn't even about me. You acted like I was trying to like monitor your cheesecake intake. It was
She was.
No, I was shocked that you had more room in the tank for another cheesecake. It flew out of my mouth out of sheer surprise that it was really happening.
The anger that this awoke in my soul.
It was one of our biggest fights in 16 years.
Literally. I was so offended, that she would be trying to ration my food in front of these people.
I was not trying to ration your food.
I'm just saying that's what I thought was happening.
That's a stupid thought. I literally said the word really, and you crashed out.
Yeah, you said really after I said, hey, could I please have another piece of cheesecake? And you're like, really? What am I supposed to think?
It was a psychotic move.
Really? Really?
Yeah, it was crazy.
No,
No, it was.
This is where we'll never agree.
No, we can fight about it again.
Even if you had the thought in your head, you should have just been like,
Brandon, I love that you think that I can somehow stop thoughts in my head from crossing my lips. In the 20 years you have known me, that has literally never been the case. So it was not even any type of like malice or anything. It was sheer shock that you ate a dinner factory meatloaf, which is an enormous portion.
Oh, I haven't had I will say this. To your credit, I will say this. I have not had the full portion meatloaf since this time because of how big it was that night.
Yes.
And
then you ate a huge slice.
4 pieces of probably 4 to 5 ounces of meatloaf steak. like 4 or 5 pieces of that.
It was like a meatloaf that a family of 4 eats.
Yes, a huge, gigantic slop of mashed potatoes, and then some like corn pilaf.
Yeah. It was just a bunch of starch and a huge family-sized meatloaf. Deep breath. Deep breath.
About to be back where I was yesterday.
Oh my God. Here we go.
So gigantic mash, right? Corn pilaf. It was way too much, and I was full. I was way too full to be eating another piece of cheesecake. That does not change the fact that I felt very judged by and I wanted another piece. I don't get cheesecake every day, and I definitely don't get it from the Cheesecake Factory every day. And here's the thing. This is the problem. And I have this problem every time I go. I always want the banana cream pie cheesecake. It is delicious, but it is a very specific taste. And it's smaller than all the other cheesecakes for some reason. But man, the tried and true of like an Oreo cheesecake from there, or like something decadent from there, it's like, it's hard to beat. So I'm always fighting my love for banana flavored desserts all the time. And so that's kind of where that problem comes from.
Pervasive issue that I'm sure everyone can relate to.
I'm glad that everyone's hearing it. Maybe there's some people out there that can talk to me about this. You know,
you need to talk to your therapist about it. I'm pretty sure I've offered like multiple times to get the flavor that you also want and share with you, but your proclivity for sharing is limited.
Also, I will say, since this time, like you said, how many years has it been?
It's been a while.
The thing about it is I'm much better about sharing now.
You are. You do.
I used to be 100% against it.
I could eat a fry from your plate.
That's correct.
But now you are better, even if it is annoying to you every time.
I won't say that it's annoying every time. It's not normally my first thought. But like we shared at a Mexican place that we went the other day. We shared at the Mexican place that we went to last week. Like I'm usually open to sharing.
You've gotten better at it over the years, for sure. But at that point in a relationship, you were not open to it. And instead, you just wanted 2 giant ones to yourself, even though it would have made you throw up.
Well, it was a scarcity mindset, too. You know what I mean? Like, when is my next piece of cheesecake going to be? And now I don't have that problem because I'm like, if this food comes and it's not enough, we can always order more, you know?
Well, the issue is you ordering more. But yes, I hear you.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, in a sharing situation now.
Oh, I see. Yeah, your fear was that you wouldn't get full.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is crazy because I eat more than you do. And so I'm like, of course, we're both going to get full. Like, I'm not going to share something and try to, like, not finish it. But yeah, you just used to be, like, really angry and curmudgeonly about that. And now you're just mad when I ask you to take off your outside clothes for our inside situation.
I'm glad we got that out of the way.
Oh my God, thank heavens. All right, let's get into it then. Let's talk about the Valley reunion. The last time we'll see Jax on our screens for a while. Hey.
Okay, so the way that we ended the second episode of the reunion was they were accusing Danny of this stuff happening multiple times. So this third episode starts with them arguing about that this has now happened more times, including some Super Bowl party, and then also at Brittany's birthday, where Brittany said that Danny got drunk and started following her around like some kind of creep with bad energy. Those were her words.
Yeah. And like, I was actually surprised that she said anything. And, you know, later on in the episode, when they're talking about it and Nia's trying to take up for Danny, Brittany is just utterly silent. And I'm like, bitch, talk. You need to say your piece here. You were married to an utter sociopath. For someone who's not on the same level as Jax, like, it's time for you to speak up to avoid that. And I think there's a lot of language going around. Like, okay, let me preface this with, I don't like Janet. I have not been shy about that. I have not been coy. Okay. You feel differently. I don't love her. I think I've said a million times, it's annoying that she didn't have her own storyline. Okay. That said, she brought some receipts and she was not wrong and people corroborated her. They didn't like the language she used because they said it was too much. I work with attorneys as well. And I will say what he did was sexual assault. I know people don't like to hear the term, but even like the following Brittany around and stuff, like that's weird. If that's what he's doing, he really doesn't need to be drinking. And the argument that like, oh, Jason's been taking up for Jax and Brittany's been taking up for Jax all these years. I hear that. Jax is way worse. I think two things can be true. Jax is way worse, and I don't really understand why Jason's trying to take up for him. Brittany should have said something about Jax ages ago, but also Danny's giving like creep vibes when he drinks.
That's the whole thing is that why, the whole, when people hear the words, sexual assault, they think aggravated R word. Mm-hmm. Like that's what they think. So like,
but groping is included in that.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying. And
then sexual harassment would be like the stuff that he's saying.
People
following her around, stalking her, saying get daddy a drink. That's weird.
People are wrongfully like not aware of what sexual assault is versus like something more egregious, it's
a broad term, right?
Yes.
And I think that's what made, and everyone was drunk. It's a broad term. People were taken aback and frustrated and sort of set off by the use of the term. She was not incorrect. And they all said that. They're like, hey, we actually went back and looked it up and it's not true. And then Andy was kind of like, well, why did you say it? And I was kind of like, because it is what it is. And I guess it's because the work that I do made me like sensitive to it. But I'm like, that is what he did. And apparently continues to do when he drinks.
Well, it's also important to note, and I hate to even say this, but it is the truth, is that Andy is dealing with accusations of similar things from people who used to work with him. And so I think he's like, and they're alleging similar sexual assault allegations. But it's kind of like worse workplace, kind of like locker room type stuff.
Is it women who are bringing it?
It's a woman who's bringing it against him for when he was working on America. I can't remember if it's America's. No, it's Project Runway, I think, when he was working with them. And some of the designers are saying that he was like propositioning them for like three-ways and like a bunch of stuff like this. Yeah. And so I think like a lot of his energy around being like, well, it was wrong, but we're calling it something that could get someone canceled. Like that was the energy I think he was.
Yeah, there is this incessant fear of cancellation. And I get that. Like when you're a public figure, that's scary because that's where all your money's coming from. Like I genuinely understand that, but I'm also like, that is what he did. Annie and Nia are part of like a Christian cult that I think has gotten more attention recently for like the stuff that they believe, the way that they treat people. And I think that they thought they could go in there and like just put their faith on show. And again, I want to be clear, Jax is worse. That seems to be people's only argument against saying like Danny was being creepy and Janet was not incorrect in the way that she spoke about it. People are like, yeah, how can you root for Jason who's trying to support Jax and I'm like, I think we can all safely say Jax is a narcissistic psychopath who does not have empathy, cares only about himself, and would absolutely attack women if he felt like he could or needed to. Like, there is no question there. We know he physically assaulted Brittany. We know that he did it in front of his young child. He is a terrible person. That notwithstanding, Danny he's not to the same level as Jax, but the behaviors he's exhibiting are problematic. And it's weird to get angry that that's being called out.
Well, and also to go back on the Jason train, like Jason, people are saying like Jason it defends Jax and stands up for Jax. Okay, I would say that when he was doing that, it was because Brittany and Janet are such good friends. And at that particular time, he was trying to see if they were still going to be together, if they were going to try to still bring Jax back into the group, if Brittany was going to basically force him back into the group by being like, we're staying together. So he wasn't cutting off Jax. And when people were talking mad crap about him, they're like, I think part of it was I kind of see some of my own personality in that. It's like, hey, he's going to come back. Like
Mhm.
everything you're saying right now is going to play into the story of him getting clean afterwards or coming back into the group. So like maybe like chill out a little bit.
Well, see, I read it as him trying to support him in like making sure he went to rehab.
No, that's
Is
what I'm
how
saying. Yeah.
I read
Like it was
it.
all about
And I
like,
disagreed with him. Like, Jax is a liar and, like, you know, whatever. But I understood where he was coming from, and I didn't see it as, like, a blanket Jax can do no wrong
yeah,
comment.
no, not at all.
Of the men on that stage last night, Jason is the least problematic.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no, without a doubt.
and that's well, Zach as well. Jason and Zach are the least problematic. And it's like, you know, and I'll go back to what I said last week. The men who were willingly involved in this group chat, psychotic behavior, red waving flag.
What do you think about the moment where Jason accuses everyone in the group of having a
Having a
problem
drink.
with alcohol?
That was bold. I mean, we only see them. We know with reality TV that getting them lathered up with alcohol is a way to induce drama. Like that has been around for ages, for 20 years now. I think as we all get older and understand like how alcohol can really like take over your whole world, and as we know more people who are struggling with it, alcohol in general, I just read something yesterday that like people are drinking less today than they have ever since like 1954 or something. Like it's the lowest it's ever been. Were the people in that room people who had trouble with alcohol? Maybe. I don't know them personally, so I can't say. I thought it was interesting to say that. I feel like the people that they brought up on Bravo in the past who have had trouble with alcohol, a Shep, a Craig, people like this, Jax, obviously, and now Danny, are people who are exhibiting behavior that makes them do things that are really problematic when they're drunk. I think drinking too much and, you know, just being unhealthy is one thing, but it is another when it leads to, you know,
well,
other things.
I think he's just using his own experience of this group.
Yeah.
I mean, look back at all of these like heightened conversations. Everybody's hammered.
Well, he was really hammered at that Zen party.
Yeah.
And I think that he was really embarrassed by that. But yeah, that was really the only time. And Janet got hammered at the Mexican restaurant. So I think there is a bit of projection in what he's doing.
Even on the boat and stuff, like when Kristen storms
and Zach
off,
were hammered,
and like they were all hammered. Like I mean, I'm not putting the blanket on everybody that they have like alcoholism necessarily.
Right.
But I do believe like this show is pretty good evidence that all of them have like some sort of relationship with alcohol that might not be the healthiest.
Maybe not all of them. Like I haven't seen that in Luke. I haven't seen that in Nia.
Well, you have seen it with Luke because when he had the
his
freak
crash out. Yeah, but that was a lot. I mean,
but he was drunk, hammered.
I know. Getting drunk and having an alcohol problem are not tantamount.
No,
and I think that's
like
the
I
danger
said,
in what he said.
I'm not saying that it's alcoholism. I'm just saying like his words were problem with alcohol.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that people are giving Danny such a pass for being like the nice Christian guy. And I'm like, y'all don't know him like I do.
The thing about this is Danny is in a situation where it's all about their image consciousness.
Yes.
And it's not, I don't even know that it is fake. All of the ways in which they try to ride for each other and the way they present themselves as like this very Christian and like chaste couple and all. What I will say is that it's so obvious that they are so image conscious, and it reads on reality TV as very fake.
Very inauthentic, yeah.
Yeah.
Nia was getting really worked up trying to defend them. And I'm like, but she would just say, like, you're lying. But she couldn't prove anything.
Well,
and, like...
And they've never said, sorry, end of sentence. It's always like, I'm sorry, but I was on antibiotics. I'm sorry, but we already apologized 100 times. It's always a but. They can't just own this moment. And literally, like, even in the moment where they first talk about it at the white party, he's like, really? Now? And then even after it's all said, it's like, I thought we were cool. I already talked to you. I already apologized about this. Like, just say, I'm sorry. It will never happen again. I'm embarrassed. Like, he can't just own the moment. He has to, like, somehow write himself out of it. And there has to be, like, some secondary excuse or something that he could not have helped. And that's just a terrible way.
You can tell the people who grew up around evangelicalism at its worst. Zach susses that shit out. I think with Brittany, he has a soft spot because they've known each other for ages, but she's the same fake way. We talked about that last week. I think, like, the people who don't have as much experience with it, like Kristen, would be appalled if she knew what they actually thought. Like, I really genuinely think that. She sees them being nice in word, and they know exactly how to cover, like, a lot of their real beliefs. But if she knew what they thought, I assure you, about gay people, about immigrant rights, like, I can guarantee, based on where they go to church, that it is not in line with what Kristen talks about and posts about and seems to feel.
Well, the truth of the matter is, I think Kristen already knows that because of the involvement of Michelle in the same organization and the fact that she called Michelle out for,
being a racist Republican.
Yeah.
Michelle is a disaster.
What do we think about Jasmine and the role that has been exposed that she played in a lot of the drama from this season in this past reunion episode, where basically, like, it came out fully that she was the original source of the ring rumor. So Kristen had heard it from Jasmine. Jasmine started that. Jasmine perpetuated that. And
she heard it from other people.
But she even admitted she did that she knew it wasn't real. Like, that she did it just to, like, create drama, basically.
That I don't understand. I think what frustrates me about Jasmine is that she talks out of both sides of her mouth. And, like, we all do to some degree, especially when you're in a big group of friends and everybody's mad at each other and you're trying to, like, figure stuff out. But I think, like, Janet and Jason were riding so hard for her with the Danny thing. And then that the ring situation, I'd be curious to know the timeline because I think Kristen had heard that from her prior to the rest of the stuff. And Kristen brought it up, admittedly, because she was annoyed that Janet and Jason were going after Danny and Nia. And so, I mean, Janet and Jason didn't have a storyline, so they made that bigger than it needed to be. And I think that much was clear.
Well, the whole thing on the beach as well, where Jasmine, like, has the crash out and everything, and she was like, well, Janet said this, Janet said that. Janet had not said any of that.
Yeah, Jason had said it.
And Jason said it after she was already crashing out.
And he told her in the moment she was saying Janet said it. He's like, I said that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I feel like Janet's getting, like, a bad rap in a lot of this, and, like, people are trying to make her the fall guy, and she's definitely not innocent in all of it, but they are trying to, like, because she's on the outs right now with almost everybody except for Brittany, they're, like, trying to make this happen, and it's really, it's not working for me.
Well, I think Janet and Jason currently, as we know, to our current knowledge, have the most stable marriage. And I think they aren't bringing a lot storyline wise. And I think people were irritated by that. They were irritated at Danny and Nia about that too. And I think what we're seeing is just, like, a lot of projection too. Like, there are people who are frustrated with their situations, like Brittany, who would scream because Nia wouldn't just be like, Danny's drunk in his bed. She's like, he's tired and he's sleeping. And Brittany's like, I'm out here putting my whole life out here, and she won't even say he's drunk. And I'm like, okay, relax.
And also that was like, can't nobody worry about me? My husband's in rehab.
And then she ruins Kristen's special day by talking to Jax like a complete psychopath. I mean, I've made my disdain for Brittany clear for a long time, but, like, that was a wild choice. And she's like, I didn't even mean to. Yes, you did.
Yes.
Yeah, you were mad that you weren't involved in the proposal, and you did that on purpose.
One of the most unhinged moments is when Kristen literally is talking to Janet and Jason and says that they're not important enough for the fans to worry about.
She wasn't wrong.
I was like, dang.
The thing about Kristen is I think she was exhausted by the whole thing. And I understand it. She's like, I literally sat down with you at the beginning of the summer on camera and said, hey, I knew this wasn't true. I was mad at you for saying this about Danny. I said it as retribution. Nobody thinks it's real. Let's move on. And they never moved on. And like, that was the issue.
Another part of this is that Kristen won't take the fall on like some of the stuff that Jason is saying.
Yeah.
Because she's like, she exposes that there are even more group chats that we don't know about. Some that just like,
with Jasmine.
There's a group chat where one person is left out in all of these little group chats.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really funny that like these people act like, oh, I would never be like talking crap in a group chat. And Kristen's like, I have a group chat with everybody and you were talking crap on her and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wow. Okay.
Here's the thing. Kristen, she was honest in that, I mean, she lied a couple times on Vanderpump about some pretty big things, but by and large, she was honest about the fact that she's known for being Detective Doty and for showing up to places where she has not only not been invited, but been uninvited or told deliberately not to come. Like, that's her MO. It's not being a liar. And so Jasmine, it's pretty clear, talks out of both sides of her mouth. Zach and Kristen and Janet seem to be the only ones who will straightforward say, I don't like you, or I didn't say that, or I did say that, and like stand on business. The rest of them are happy, like being pretty wishy-washy about what they did and did not say.
Another thing to bring up is the moment in the episode where Andy brings up the fact that Hooters is closing out of nowhere, and Brittany's like, oh, I know. I hate it. We hate it.
She don't have a Brittany's titties out there.
Yeah. So, the people from Sexy Unique podcast were talking about how she's going to buy up some Hooters franchises and call them Britties or Britty's titties. And it's so funny because Hooters is really in the Vanderpump ether this week because I started listening to the new Sheena Shea book on tape. And
wow, starting out with a premise that is a lie is very Sheena Shea.
So one of the first chapters is about how she went to court on behalf of many Hooters employees who had been filmed in a changing room by this guy. And I was like, wow, Hooters really has like a big role to play in the greater Vanderpump universe. But
that's where Brittany worked too.
She got tapped to like testify before a grand jury and all of this, and she was going to Azusa Pacific University, which is like a Christian university in California, and she was afraid that because she testified she was going to get kicked out of school because they didn't know she worked at Hooters.
That's a fair concern. These Christian colleges are happy to like take your tuition. We had friends in college who they couldn't go in each other's dorms, and he went in to literally help her move out on move out day because she couldn't lift something. And on the last day of classes, they got kicked out and got no credits for an entire year that they paid for. So yeah, those universities are happy to do that. They are thrilled to take your money. So, I mean, that's fair. She should have been worried about that. But I do think it's funny, like when we first meet Brittany on Vanderpump, she has been working at Hooters. And it's also just like the origin of her giant knockers is crazy too, because she was like kind of petite when she first met Jax, and had like a very normal sized chest, was really cute. And she has had so much plastic surgery done at his behest. And when she first started looking at getting a boob job, there's like a whole episode on him being like, actually make them bigger. And him talking about his friend's girlfriend and being like, I'd like them to look like hers. And going into and he always goes to this discount plastic surgeon where he had to get his nose done like 4 times. And he goes to this discount plastic surgeon and they give her 2 basketballs. And then she gets pregnant. And so she's just she has to have like next level back pain with those.
Am I misremembering this? But wasn't Jack saying that Brittany has physically assaulted him in the past and that she broke his nose at one point?
I do not remember that. No.
I think that in the episode last night that she was like, he was like, well, it has, or has it gotten physical ever before? And he was like, yeah, it has. And he's like, she's hit me and broke my nose one time. And she's like, but didn't you deserve it? Didn't you deserve it? And I'm like, whoa.
Maybe. Boy, that Kentucky came right out. She had a right hook.
I'm like, didn't you deserve it? Interesting.
Well, I mean, again, and I said this last week, Jax went on and on and on during Vanderpump about how he can't break up with women. And the only time we ever saw him break up with someone was when he broke up with Laura Lee right after her AA meeting. And then she immediately like descended back into alcohol.
Yeah.
And so like he had said to all of his friends and to Brittany, like, I can't break up with her. So he's like, I know what I'll do. I will make her absolutely miserable. I'll humiliate her in front of all of her friends. I will sleep with one of our friends in front of a dying elderly woman while she is in hospice.
What is that? Oh, that was Faith?
Yep.
Okay.
Like the list goes on and on. So I'm sure he deserved it, but it's like, you don't do that. And God only knows what we don't know that's like happened in their home before, let alone screaming. That poor child. I mean, it's sick what they put him through.
It's also interesting because Zach was talking about like why he hates Jack so much now and like talks so much junk on him is because he said, like, I've been friends with Brittany forever and I've spent so much time taking up for Jax, like trying to help Jax, trying to make Jax a better person, blah, 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 blah. And at every turn, he is basically hated on me, told lies about me, like not accepted my help, and I was like, oh, this is actually getting a much bigger picture into like why Zach is so like
disgusted by him.
Disgusted and triggered by every move that Jax makes.
But it's why I love Zach, because he's like, it's not your show anymore. You sad little man.
He knows how to hurt him real bad.
He does. He knows exactly what to say. And I love to watch him do it. I love Zach. I think he's funny. I think he's got crazy hair. But he's got
those pictures of him from like 2011 with that like straight
so
down
funny.
like,
oh my God. But I love him. I like that. I mean, I don't like Brittany, but I like that he's a good friend. And it's what makes me madder at her for like choosing Janet over him or anybody else, really. I'm like, this is your friend who has been your friend for years. And it goes back to like her being willing at her wedding, which also featured Hooters, being willing to have that bigoted pastor, being willing to do all these things. I'm like, your best friend is gay and you don't care about that. So I just think she gets away with murder for trying to like appease everybody. And I think at some point this group is going to get sick of that.
I think so too. And I think it's already starting to happen. Like,
there are fractures because of it.
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's all what ends up happening with these people. Like we talked about Brittany last week, where it's like this very like chaste Southern. It's like once everybody starts tracing back the beginning of all of their foibles with each other, and they're like, Brittany was at the center of all of these.
Yeah.
Or had a role in all of these. Like that will eventually happen.
Stays spreading stuff.
It will happen.
Yeah.
I think one of the funnier moments from it is the callback of this past episode was the callback to Frank Dramond, the fake burner account, and Jax like admitting to one of the things that was just lore before now. Like he had no one on the show had actually talked about it, but I had seen like TikToks about it and stuff where he was on eBay selling like personal effects and like rap t-shirts from like old Vanderpump seasons for money during the during COVID. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I cannot believe that he was out there doing that. Like,
he still
does you gotta make your money, but dang.
Jason was saying he'll sell like half of like a tin of protein powder on eBay. Like he didn't care. Used
half a tin of protein powder.
Like it's a crazy choice, but like listen, get your bag, man. Do what you gotta do. You are unemployed now.
When he was doing all those like natural supplements and Stassi came in and like dumped all of them out.
Well,
like,
she was like, you have a breast now. Like you literally have a breast.
He was
because
growing
you won't
breasts.
Stop. Yeah, you won't stop taking this stuff. And on top of that, you're doing cocaine, Adderall, and drinking into oblivion every night. And this is a crazy mixture.
I wonder if Jack's got a mammogram like I did.
Oh, people probably don't know this. We need to talk about this, and then I want to talk about a couple other things, and then we got to get off. But
Yep. Okay.
breast cancer runs in my family. All right. And I have tried. After Olivia Munn got diagnosed with breast cancer, I went on like this whole thing. I met with like a breast specialist. I met with my OB. I met with all these people to do my little test and do all of this. And they're like, well, you actually don't qualify for a mammogram. And I'm like, ugh. And I got home and I was talking to Brandon about it. And I'm like, like they will not give me one. Like I'm begging for one and they won't do it. And I forgot. And Brandon goes, well, you know what? It really hurts. And I forgot you got one and I didn't.
Yeah. So the deal here was I am a hypochondriac.
Oh, God.
I'll admit it. And I'm always aware of any change on my body, a mole,
it could be literally anything,
like
a bruise,
a tightness in my neck. I'm like, oh, what is that? What is that?
What you were yapping about last night.
Does it go up to my brain?
Mm-hmm.
Like
it's from the brainstem. Mm-hmm.
And so I started feeling this little
nugget.
A little nugget inside my little chesticle right here. And I was like, well, that's not normal. I made Rachel feel on it. She's like, I do.
Multiple times.
She's like, I do feel something there. I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm like, well, I got to go in. So I go to my normal doctor and he feels on it. And he's like, I'm thinking he's going to be like, oh, this is just like some hard breast tissue. Don't worry about it. You're fine. And then I'll feel better. He's like, oh, this feels weird. I don't like the way this feels. You need to get in immediately and have a mammogram. I'm like, mammogram? Because all you ever see on like TV is women being like, oh, it hurts so bad. They smashed my, freaking
titty.
Chest. Yeah, titty.
Well, your mom told me it feels like having a window slammed on your titty.
Yeah, literally. Well, I can tell you it's exactly what it feels like.
And I feel like our chest is about the same size, so I'm not looking forward to it.
So I go to this mammogram imaging place, and I'm in there with a bunch of like older women, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Like
your favorite.
3 different times, nurses were like, "Are you in the right place?" And I'm like, yes, I'm here for a mammogram. And they're like, oh, really? And sure enough,
you're like, I have breast tissue.
They take me back. And when I tell you, like, I have no meat to speak of to shove in this machine. So she's having to like slam my body up against the mammogram thing and like really adjusting. Oh, wow. Yeah. Like trying to pinch my, chest
your
meat
breast.
to put it in there. And when they closed those 2 flat windows on my chest, I mean, I let out a shriek. I was like,
I'm sure you did.
And
sure
she's
you did.
And like, the thing is, like, most, even bad medical procedures that I've had, they're like, it'll hurt for a second, it'll be fine. Just breathe in. And she's 5 seconds before we did this, she's like, this is going to hurt. Mm-hmm. Just like unequivocal. She's just like, this will hurt.
If more men had mammograms, had IUD insertions, not like take away childbirth, like obviously, whatever. But if you could feel what those things are like, I do think maybe women's healthcare would change.
I believe that too. But
all of our procedures are incredibly painful.
I'm one of the few men who have experienced a mammogram, though.
That's true. Write your name down in history, in the annals of history. Brandon Basson got a mammogram.
Yep, I did. I had paid for it, too. It was a hefty price.
Well, good news is you did not have anything wrong with you.
I didn't. There was nothing in the meat.
Yeah. I have no idea, so hopefully I'm good. I wanted to say, we didn't talk about it last week, but the Las Culturistas Awards, they brought me back to life in a way. It was the same energy that MTV of like the late 90s, early 2000s used to be, which is like funny, quirky, but also incredibly impressive.
Yes.
Everybody's been talking about the Ben Platt Diet Pepsi, losing all my innocence in the backseat. I could listen to it 1,000 times, and I have.
Yeah, I mean, it's in a playlist of mine, and I just listen to it every day.
It was incredible.
It was meant to be performed with an orchestra. Like, I like the slowed down version of it more than the original.
It was just incredible. They are so funny. And also Matt's singing voice it wasn't in memoriam. It was like they couldn't be here because they didn't want to.
In absentia.
Yeah, there it is. I was blown away by how well he sang, like genuinely.
Yeah.
He was so good, but I had to say that. I hated that we didn't get to talk about it, but we obviously have to talk about Taylor Swift at this point.
Okay, so she's announcing her big album tonight, actually. We're recording on Wednesday, so we won't be able to talk about this till next week. But she's announcing her new album, TS12. What is it? Is it Diary of a Showgirl?
Life of a Showgirl.
Life of a Showgirl. And she's doing it on Travis's podcast. What do we feel about this?
I think men shouldn't be allowed to have podcasts. So I am not in love with it. I did get tickled. I saw a clip today where she was like, if there's anything that sports fan men want more of, it's me on their screens.
Yeah.
So I do think that she is aware of it. But at the same time, I'm worried it's going to be really cringe because we don't get to see her in these ways.
It feels very cringe so far.
And I'm concerned about it. There are some people who are too big to be on a podcast, But at the same time, like, I will be watching with bated breath. Make no mistake.
My concern for this is that, people are hypothesizing what the album is about. And people are saying that it's about, like, the fact that she's acknowledging that she is in love with her own fame and being on the stage and wanting to be more, like, out there. You know what I mean? And that she has been kind of kept somewhat by her relationships, like, in the closet of her own life. You know what I mean? And so maybe this is just like the first of many things where she's going to, like, be more open with who she is, like, behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's interesting. Everyone was like, after her tour ended, everyone's like, she's just going to go get married to Travis and pop out babies. And I was like, I definitely think she's going to put out a few more albums. And they were like, no, this is the end for her. And I'm like, I don't think so. And I'm right.
Well, the thing is like...
She can't not do it.
When she's ready, and when she's ready to have a kid, like, she's done everything she needs to do. Like, there's no doubt that she is probably, if she has plans to have children, like, she's probably frozen eggs. She probably has maybe even frozen embryos. Like, she has all of the ability to delay this a little longer than the average person.
Well, and she's turning, like, 36 this year. It's not like she's...
She'll turn 36 in December.
Yeah, so she's got time, and I hate even, like, talking
crusty
about a woman's timeline. Oh, listen, my eggs, they dusty. It's the Sahara. I turned 40 too soon.
And the thing is like, a lot of people make a lot of assumptions based on things that she said 10 and 15 years ago about wanting a family, of whether she's going to want a family or not.
And she may, and that could look a lot of different ways, but she loves her babies at this point are these albums. And so she said it was like a big departure from her last album, which cool. I'm curious.
Well, and she also said, one thing that Travis was saying in his GQ article that came out this week was talking about how much he loves that he gets to watch her on her stage and she gets to watch him and be a fan on his stage. Mm-hmm. So, like, they've never been with someone that they felt like really appreciated them for their craft.
Yeah.
And, like,
he does really appreciate her.
Like, yeah, he's, like, really a fan of her music. Like, that's where all of this started.
Well,
And then she has become a fan of his world. And so I think that's really cool.
Well, and also he was saying, I saw another excerpt of that article where he said, like, she doesn't consider herself an athlete, but what she does in many ways is harder than what I do. Walking and running and dancing and singing on a stage for 3 hours with absolutely no stops when it's, like, blazing hot outside or raining or whatever it is, and you are the only person in control of what's happening. Like, he's like, I don't think people in the NFL could do it. And I was like, hats off, Travis Kelce. Thank you for giving your girl her props.
He knows. He
outkicked his coverage by a long shot and is thrilled.
Not only is she beautiful and talented and rich, I mean, she is a billionaire.
She is and a billionaire. Not what's crazy about her status is that she's not like Selena Gomez, where she has a makeup line, or Rihanna, where she pivoted. And there's nothing wrong with that. But she is one of the few billionaires based solely on her music, which is wild.
In one day, the video of her announcement of this album became the most watched video in the history of social media, and 60-something million views in a day. Yeah. So, like, she's maybe the most popular and famous person on the face of the planet.
Oh, I definitely think she is. I also think it's funny that for this announcement, Jason Kelce dyed his beard.
Yeah, there you go.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
It was the first thing I noticed. I was like, why does he look different? Dyed the gray out.
Dyed the gray out.
He gave it a little manicure and a dye before he went on his diatribe about how amazing she is.
I love it. I
mean, I will say I'm not in love with her going on the podcast because I'm afraid to fly too close to the sun, not because I like whatever. But I also really like 2 NFL players being like, Taylor Swift is actually awesome. Mm-hmm. And here are all her accolades, for like all these dudes who are like, she just wants the media to see. I'm like, she doesn't need the NFL, you moron. She's the most famous person on earth.
Yeah.
I get so irritated by those asshats who sit around saying stuff like that. I'm like, are you dumb? Are you okay?
They got issues.
Go eat a snack and calm down and take some deep breaths.
I didn't know where you were going with that. go eat a snack.
Well, you know my favorite phrase. Grab a spoon.
No. Okay. Well, it's been a great podcast.
Well, I did want to say one other thing, and that was that we watched Freakier Friday. And halfway through the movie, and we love Lindsay Lohan. We'll talk more about her and Jamie Lee Curtis probably next week because we're about to roast in here right now. But one of the funniest things with you was being in that theater, and like 20 minutes into the movie, you just lean over and you're like, I'm realizing I never saw Freaky Friday. I have no idea what these callbacks are.
I feel like there's a lot of backstory here that I'm missing out on.
People are cackling in the theater with us. We watched it in Midtown. Mm-hmm. And people are absolutely cackling at all these like little callbacks to the original. And Brandon's like, oh, like I think I knew the premise of the original, but he didn't understand why Chad Michael Murray was like in love with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah,
like
I didn't get
had
any
no
of this.
clue.
No.
But I will say, Lindsay Lohan, I want what she's had done. I need you to hurry up and go make a lot of money so that I can fix. She and I are the same age, and she looks how she does. So.
She looks great, but you look great too.
Fantastic,
and you look young.
Oh, thank you. Look at this. I have a sweat stash. It starts on the upper lip.
Once again, we will ask you, please go to popsnitch.com. Follow us on everything, especially YouTube. Especially all of our videos are on YouTube, but they're also on Spotify. So if you would like to see the video of this, please go to those platforms.
Well, we need to, at the beginning of the next episode, we need to remember to do this, but we need you guys to leave us ratings, 5-star reviews, and I would love it, especially if you know us, for you to leave like an unhinged, hilarious comment, and we will read them.
We'll read them on the pod
here at the beginning of the podcast next week if we see any. So give us a 5-star review, give us a rating, leave a hilarious, unhinged comment that we can read aloud for the listeners, and have a lovely day.
Bye.
Bye. I'm sweating.